And I'm live. That is pretty cool. Today is 1st of April 2026, Wednesday. And yeah, that is enough introduction. We want to get started with the QEMU and start. This is macOS. Yep, macOS. And run Debian or any Linux system on QEMU on macOS. So cool. That like sounds very cool. Okay, so what are the things that we are going to use? One is QEMU, right? And then there is going to be Linux ISO, right? And then there is the host operating system, macOS, which is the host. So what are the parts that these things play? And they come together to run a Linux system on macOS. Cool. So for these two things, macOS host, it is just macOS host, like nothing too complicated about this. This is yep, this is an operating system which is running, and this thing has this is providing a few things for us. This is giving us the hardware, and this is ARM architecture, and this has our ARM architecture, and the operating system provides some APIs. You can call them APIs, or yeah, APIs for acceleration. Cool. These are the things provided by macOS host. What is QEMU doing? QEMU is acting as a wrap, not a wrapper. QEMU is emulating, virtualizing, emulating and virtualizing. What does that mean? We will look at it in a bit. And ISO, this just has the OS info that we want to run. Yep, just that. Cool. So in this whole thing, QEMU is acting as a communicator between our host macOS and the Linux ISO, and it provides two services. One of them is emulation, and the other is virtualization. And in emulation, in emulation, if you have a base hardware of ARM, let's say you could have ARM or x86. These are the two most common architectures, hardware architectures. This one on the right is what Intel uses, x86, and ARM is used by Apple Silicon. So in emulating, no matter what your base architecture is, like your hardware, actual hardware, you can QEMU is going to, you could say, simulate. QEMU is going to simulate any architecture and provide it to the Linux OS, right? Yep. So no matter what your actual base architecture is, QEMU is going to simulate whatever architecture you want to run your ISO Linux file on. It is just going to simulate that and yeah, run it. But this is slow. This is slow because there is going to be a translation process. Because what if you want to run an x86 architecture, you want to simulate an x86 architecture, but your actual hardware architecture is ARM. In that case, there is going to be a translation. This Linux ISO is going to run x86 commands. But since you do not have an x86 architecture, those commands are going to be converted into ARM architecture by QEMU, and then they will run on your actual hardware. So this translation is pretty slow. So what these host OSs do, they give acceleration. I guess we can call them APIs. These give acceleration APIs, that is near native performance. The host OS has some programs which have some like APIs which can be connected to by QEMU, and then QEMU runs the commands given to it by the virtual machine that you want to run, and runs those commands on the hardware with a near native performance. And if we go to QEMU docs, we can actually see this shit. Wait, stop this. Yep. Cool. If you go to QEMU's website, here, introduction, we can actually see if your host OS is this and your architecture is this, then these host OSs provide some accelerators which you can use for near hardware, for near native performance. If you want to run on macOS with an x86 or ARM architecture with near native performance, then macOS provides hypervisor framework HVF to QEMU, which QEMU uses and gives you very fast performance. But there is one bottleneck in this. ISO must have the same architecture as the actual hardware. Like, yep. So since macOS is based on ARM architecture, like at least the silicon one is based on ARM architecture, we must now install a Linux ISO that is based on ARM architecture. I guess, and Debian is cool. ARM 64. Download. Let's see. Just shit. It was not too complicated. We have this thing right here, but is this like the latest one or what is this? Do we have some dates? What is this directory? Yes, what is this directory? These are files containing the installer and other software for this is ISO. I guess that is good enough. Okay, I guess that is good enough. Just this. Okay, cool. Programming VM. I do have ISOs. No, I do not have ISOs. Okay, this one is downloading. It will take about 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, while the ISO is downloading, and this is the correct one, ARM 64-bit ISO. Let's also install QEMU. From the official website, docs, macOS, brew install Q. Okay, that was not too complicated. Okay, brew is downloading QEMU. It is, and our Debian ISO is also downloading. Then what we need to do is we need to just use QEMU to start this ISO, and cool, we are done. Running like this. QEMU system x86-64. That said, the general QEMU command line can be expressed as this, but we don't have x86-64 because we do not have a x86-64 hardware. We have something else. Then we provided what should be the CPU options, accelerator options, device options, backend options, yep, all this. And we also have to create a lot of things. Yes, this is what we want. We also have to create a disk which we can provide to QEMU to install the ISO on. And that disk, we do not have to create an actual partition, but we just create a file using QEMU file create command. Let's use Claude to see the whole thing. QEMU is downloading. Yep, Debian. Hello, shit, Shoravai. How's it going? Debian. I'm using Debian because I would use Arch, but there is not good support for Arch in ARM architecture. But but because the hardware is based on ARM architecture and there is not a lot of support for ARM architecture with Arch ARM 64. This one is like a passion project. This does not have a lot of support, but we can just build the packages on our own instead of this, instead of relying on a package manager, which would be cool. No point to install Arch as virtual machine, or am I missing? Wait, why is there no point? There is the learning experience. Shit, I will be now installing Arch. Yes, like yep. ARM V8, or I guess this one is V8. Is M4 ARM V8 or ARM V7. I guess this is V7. Yep, V7. Shit, what am I even looking for? Downloads. Check some. Yep, V7, one of the V7 ones. What are these names? Multi-platform, Raspberry Pi. But Arch does not have all these types. Arch just has Arch. Since ARM is a rolling distribution, you never need to download a new release or run a special upgraded scripts. The entire system is kept up to date by running just one command. With this, yep, the latest version of packages are also available to all our users. Why is there this much variety in Arch? I guess multi-platform one would be the one that we go forward with. But what are all these versions? All these versions of Arch are Linux. And isn't there a base Arch on top of which all the other ones are built? Installation tarballs pre-built, root system images, Texas Instruments shade. Okay, let's just install this one, multi-platform. I was over exam when I said it had no point, but I think to learn you should look into NixOS. But yeah, Arch is also fine. Shit, NixOS has its own things. Arch is also fine. Yep. Okay, this does not download when I click on this. UTM is a wrapper around Arch Linux ARM. Let's go. UTM is a wrapper around QEMU, which we can also use. And 500 MBs, cool. So this will be downloaded in a bit, and let's see how to start a VM with QEMU on Mac OS. Yes, and first of all we have to here create a disk and then install our ISO on that disk. Yep, we have QEMU. No, we cannot just directly do this. Nope, this is like illegal. BIOS drive. Yep, we have to make this thing .img file to install the operating system on, and then use that thing on all the subsequent runs for this machine. Yep, create a disk image. QEMU image create FQCow2. This is their own format. F tells what is the format for the disk for the image that we want to create. Format is QCow2, and this format is cool because if you say here you want 8 GB of disk storage, you do not lose 8 GB of disk storage right now. The size of this image only grows as you install new things, so that is pretty cool. Let's okay make there. Yep, these things are also there. EFI FD. Yep, shit. Yeah, VMU IMG create format Q cow2, and then the name and size. Let's say david.img, and size is 8G. Cool. And if we see the size of this thing right now, it is just 192 KBs. It is not 8 GBs. So pretty good. Should I get Claude? I don't know. Claude Pro. I mean, we are getting here the latest version, Sonnet 4.6, which is the latest one. So, I don't know. This one is cool. I mean, the free one is also pretty cool. Here, M for giving it the RAM. Number of CPU cores, SMP. No graphic, no GUI, use terminal only. Okay. Enable graphical display, net useful flags. Okay. Now when we do have this image, we just have to run this command. Virtual machine, Cortex A5 RAM BIOS drive. And where do we have to give in the ISO? We are not giving it the ISO. Okay, debian.image. Okay, Arch is also installed. Let's go. Wait, it is zipped. Uzip is the command, I guess. Shit. Gzip. Yep, gzip. Gnu zip. Is it unzipping or zipping it? Shit, it is zipping it. Should I? Shit. I messed this up. This is now GNU zip. How do we unzip this? Gzip. With D. This and Arch Linux. Cool. LS. Okay. Okay. I guess we can just manually unzip this thing. Allow. Okay. But this is not an ISO file. This is something else. This is some UTM thing. Maybe the ISO file is inside this. It is not. Nope. This has the disk image directly here. Let's use Debian. Boot from it first. Use CD-ROM. Okay, cool. When we were tinkering with these things before, this was the command that I was using. QEMU system arch machine, give it the accelerator HVF, which is hypervisor framework, CPU, and memory 2 GB, file. Now the name of the user is Walrus, and drive. Yep, drive is site VM debian.img. Format is this. No graph. Cool. File. Shit, we have this is the ISO file. Yep. The path, documents, programming, VM, ISOs. Media CD-ROM. Okay. I guess this is cool. Users Walrus. Source. There is HRC and then VM. VM full, VM underscore full. Shit, failed. Could not open image.img. Debian.img. Shit, okay. Debian.img. Yeah. Okay, why are we giving the same thing twice? Source. VM full. Okay, shit. Invalid CPU model Cortex A72. The valid models are Cortex A53 and 57. Okay. 57. I guess there are these two. There are two CPU models because there are low efficiency CPUs and high efficiency CPUs. Okay, shit. Okay, this is actually working now. Hello, yo. I once ended up deleting my Wi-Fi driver somehow. Shit. Okay, look at this. This is must be something. TX buff wrap. Hmm. Hmm. Something is happening. I don't know what. Help. Yes, help. Hmm. CPU max SMP core accelerate. Shit. Okay, we are inside shell. Some shell. Press. Continue. Continue. Mapping table. Block 3, block 1. Okay. Shit, something is here. We are inside BIOS with shell. Maybe I should restart this with commands from the official website. Machine options. Okay, this is the template. Let's create our own command. Shit, how do I exit this? Oh, shit. Continue. Uh, Start PXC over. Failed to load boot 0002. Risk device 2 not found. This is taking up one whole core. It's fine. Let's stop this. Shit. Okay. This is the template. CMD. Okay. Machine options. What are the machine options? Let's see. Let's use help. QEMU system. This M help. M help. What are these things? Canon. Why do we have Canon here? Okay. Machine define the machine type, amount of memory, etc. Okay, so first we have to give in the machine options. Machine type virtual machine, virtualization on P flash, ROM, P flash one, this thing, and then give the memory. Okay, those are considered machine options. Backward slash machine. Just copy paste. Okay, 4 GB RAM is also cool. No problem with this. Maybe 2 GB. And then CPU options. CPU max. No. SMP, I guess, is the number of cores that we are giving it. In the following example, virtualization. We define a virtual machine, which is a general purpose platform for running our this guests. We enable virtualization so we can use KVM inside the emulated guest. Inside the emulated guest, as the virtual machine comes. Wait, but we do not have KVM. We then define 4 CPU cores. Okay, with this we define 4 CPUs and use the max option, which gives us all the ARM features QEMU is capable of. Okay. Okay, let's say 4. And what is PCG? We enable a more emulation friendly environment with ARM's pointer authentication algorithm. We specify PCG acceleration, even though QEMU would default to it anyway. Yes, here we have to say HBF because we are on macOS. TCG. Is TCG something here? Yep. Tiny code generator. Which is also available on macOS. Cool. And now the virtual platform does not have any default network or storage devices. We need to define them. Okay, we give them IDs so that then we can link with them. My bad. device virtual IO net PCI ID. I do not understand QEMU. What is going on? First website, then TUI, then deployment. Now this, yes. Uh, arc. Shit. The voice is weirdly echoing. Like it is not echo, but seems like there is another voice coming whenever you are speaking. Shit. Wait, let me see. So, okay, I will fix that in the next stream. Yep. Thank you for the input. Shit, but okay. What is all this? What is the minimum QEMU command that we need? Seems like this. Drive, file, use this. Drive, CD-ROM, use this. I guess that is boot. Boot order, D. D means, I don't know what D means. Okay, file is in users, walrus, documents, programming, VM. Shit, not this. Debian image. This one. Okay. And path to the ISO. Users, walrus, documents, programming, VM, ISOs, Debian. Cool. This is the CD-ROM. I guess that is enough. And chmod x for this thing. Then shit. Shit, okay, this is now stuck somehow. At cmd sh unsupported machine vir type virtual. Shit. What were we giving here? Okay, we don't have to say this. Okay, Excel. Shit, we have to give here shebang. Hash bang hash. Okay. Permission denied. chmod 7 cmd k and now cmd.sh. Not supported type virtual. Arch, what is the arch thing? Yes. arch, a arch. Excel, the Excel and machine Excel equal to options are incompatible. Okay. Excel HVF. Okay, cool. Dot slash CMD. Shit. Okay, we have something. QEMU monitor. Graphic. Display none. Display none. Yep, that is something we need. Shit. Display none, and no graphic is something, I guess. No graphic. Dot slash CMD sh and nothing plus x shade. I think I gave x, but now everyone can like run this thing. Flag of x, you are not adding permission for the now permission part is okay. Shit. This is not doing anything. Virtual machine accelerator, RAM this, use. Okay, we have given this thing twice. I guess that was problem. Yep. Yes. When we were trying to run QEMU at some point in the past, the problem was that QEMU does not natively somehow have the BIOS for Arch 64 system. So even though we are giving it the ISO and everything, it does not know how to start running this ISO because it does not have the required BIOS or something. And that is why we downloaded these two things. We set up these two things. These variables are needed by QEMU to run the BIOS, and yeah, we have to give them to QEMU to run them, and there are specific commands for that, which we can just look at here. These two. Format raw file. Yep, I guess. And now if we do dot slash cmd dot, okay, this should work. This should hopefully work. Okay, nope. Yes, this did happen before, and we waited for a while, and everything became happy again. This should work. This should work. It is much easier to just use UTM, but we won't. And also, I've not actually tried to read this documentation. System emulation provides a virtual model of a machine GPU. All of this to run a guest OS. It supports a member of hypervisors known as accelerators, as well as a just-in-time known as well as a JIT known as tiny code generator TCG, capable of emulating any CPU supported accelerators. We do have support for this one hypervisor, which cool. Yes, we got to this point earlier also, but what to do after this? Let's see. Cache page outbound occurred. Okay, I am using to run shell. Debian on Mac OS. I am getting this. Cache page outbound occurred. UEFI OVM, which is UEFI is a BIOS firmware issue. The shell this prompt means QEMU booted into the EFI shell instead of your ISO disk, and the cache page outbound error is a known bug with certain OVFM firmware versions on macOS. Fixes to try. Okay, make sure you are actually passing the ISO. Double check your command as cd-rom and boot D. Okay, so QEMU feels like there is no ISO to run. Okay, so yeah, it feels like that there is no ISO to run. Reset continue. How do we exit? Boot manager. Debian is the hard disk from from their perspective. Shit, I guess I can just exit from shit. How to move from QEMU VM to QEMU command line? Is that a good question? Shit, okay. I am in a VM in BIOS. How do I exit it and access QEMU and close this VM? Hello. Making a reading algorithm. Shit. Okay, I wanted to try some automation part that, but ML model just kept fucking overriding that too with light GBM, whatever that is, GBM, light GBM. Just a lost cause. Shit, you have given up. Also, I guess JE result is out. How was your JE exam? That is the thing I've been working on for last 2 weeks, but cannot get anywhere as well. Okay, you are making your own trading algorithm. Is it in Rust? I mean, that is what people use. Control A, then X. Let's go. Shit. Okay, that was simple. We need to look at. We do have this boot order equals D. Let's put it at the top. Debian ISO CD-ROM. Yep. CD-ROM equal to this, not drive equal to this. CD-ROM, and then the path to CD-ROM, and okay, CD-ROM is here. Delete. Okay, hopefully it works this time. Shit, okay, that is a good score, 95 percentile, better than mine. Okay, of course, I will write machine learning libraries from and frameworks in Rust because shit, Rust, you are using. Okay, shit, we are inside graph. Okay, we can actually do graphical install, advanced options, graphical install. We'll do that later. Cool. Shit, we are in. Where is India? Let's go. Key maps to use. And does India have key maps? Irish, Hindi? No. Key map. English. American English. Okay. Attempting IPv6. This may take a time configuring the network. Okay, Debian Walrus. Password. Okay. Let's go. It is working. And it is working. And these things, shit, these are called TTL. Yes, I think these are called how to TTL, TLL, time to live. Shit, it is not TTL. Any idea? Shit, you must know what this is. Teleprompter. These numbers are called use entire disk, virtual disk, 8 GBs, all files in one partition. Yep. Failed to partition the selected disk. Use entire disk. These are the partitions. Okay, and none of them is in GB. Yeah, 7.1 GB ext4. Finish partition and write changes to disk. You want to write changes to the disk? Yes. In Linux, what are different terminals called? Like at the top level, TTY. Shit. How to switch between TTY and Linux? Alt F1 through F7. Control Alt F1 through. Okay, I messed up. Shit, I did mess up. Partition disk. Choose language. English. India. India. Hmm. The mirror is being checked. TTY. 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 It is like doing something. Yep, TTY. I messed up. Which is called what? Yeah, shit. The stream is okay. I guess you just stopped the screen at some point. Okay, participate. Maybe not. Okay, shit. We can cinnamon mate. No. Do we have to do this? I would like to use Hyperland. Shit. Select and install software. This is installing. Grub bootloader. All of this is happening from the ISO. Yep. And going to the installation finish. Okay. 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 Back to square one. Shit. Let's go. Okay, we are inside the VM. We are inside the VM. The VM is working and it is also not taking a lot of storage. Cool. Shit. Which shell? Echo shell bash. We are using bash. Okay, let's make this thing better looking. Why do we see this gray thing? Let's build new vim from scratch. That is like the first thing you do. Code bases, cd code bases, git. We do not have git. Sudo apt install git shit apt install git. Okay, apt install, what was the thing, git, and not load package permission denied. How do we change the user? Change SU. Because we do not have sudo, so we literally have to change the user. Su username, su. Okay, we are now root. Cool, pretty cool. We have git sudo git clone new cloning. Okay, speed is fine. Speed is fine. Download speed is fine. Not too fast, but okay. Share. Hello. Switching. Okay, shit. KD, I would like to use Hyperland because then I can flex on one of my friends in IRL. I found the thing while working with algorithm trading, index option is much easier than equity. I don't know about finance, like shit. No. And hello, Dom DMK modular. Shit, speed is slow, kind of. Okay, what else do we want to do? Now we do have a command to start VM using an ISO, I guess, for the command which we are going to use to run from the disk that we have created, the virtual disk. For that, we just remove the options where we are giving the ISO and it will just work. And next task would be to build things from scratch. Here, how to build Hyperland. Hyperland would be crazy. Building Hyperland actually would be crazy. Look at this. That is like Kurzgesagt. Shit, that is NixOS. This is NixOS. NixOS. Special thanks. Where is like install build Debian sudo apt install Hyperland, but Hyperland does not exist on the apt like store for Arch. Hyprland, that is the correct spelling. Hyprland. It does not exist here. Okay, let's install NewVim. There are a lot of prerequisites which we have to install. Build.md prerequisites for Debian. This, yep, 300 MBs more of stuff being installed. Hello. For me, KDE is much better than Hyperland. The stability customization option. Yeah, I mean, I cannot make an argument for any of these because I am not using Linux. I'm just like very new. I did use Linux like here and there, but not as a native user. But I want to use Hyperland so that I can flex on my friend. I want to understand Hyperland. It has the best VLAN integration. VLAN is, my understanding is that VLAN is a protocol which is like its like legit name. VLAN is a protocol which you can use to communicate to the operating system the things that you want to show on the front end. VLAN is like React, and then Hyperland is built on top of VLAN to, yeah, like, yeah, cool. Git clone cd newvim git check out. We are inside newvim. Make this should be pretty fast. And then sudo make install. Okay, 50% of the GPU is being used. Crazy. Okay, all of the like high efficiency, high performance cores are being used fully. Crazy. Yeah, this is getting hot. And some frames have dropped, like 78 frames have dropped from the stream. Cool. Make install. make install. We do not have to write sudo because we are in the root user. Then let's go. Okay. Uh, Now we need the configuration. And git clone github.com/within browser /nvim-rc. The whole configuration is here, and also we need some stuff. Apt install clang. We need clang. We need gcc clang gcc and bun and node and tree-sitter CLI to run, yeah, on top of node. Shit, I think all of this setting up a whole machine from scratch can be automated with NixOS, which was said here. Shit. Someone did say NixOS at some point. Yep, NixOS. Yep, it did got leaked. And they are like, do not read this, do not read our code. Like, shit, pretty easy stuff. Install gcc node npm bun. I guess we have to install from the website. There is a script for bun. This. And how much of the GPU and CPU are being used? 200%. Cool. And this laptop is also streaming at the same time, which is like pretty impressive, I would say. Don't believe it, share. Also don't read it, share. If it is not their code, then why are you worried? Shit, they are saying that it is not their code. That is crazy, because it is their code. This. Unzip is required. That was very fast. Source /root /bash rc. But help is there. Okay. And shit. Move nvim rc to nvim. It is downloading all the package plugins. Copilot and Codium, I would just remove them from this configuration. Fine, cool. And also these signs we see here, dollar signs and 2, because the virtual terminal is does not support these signs. Like, look at this shit. And git clone https github.com/ Raghav nvim rc. Okay, move nvim rc to nvim nvim. It was share. Okay, and shit, miscommunication. There is a miscommunication. Share. It might actually be cooked. Okay, now I want to fix this part that we do not that this virtual terminal does not support some characters, and we see this weird this syntax. Now in my Debian machine I see easy symbols like $2. How do I change the terminal font and make it latest symbols be supported by terminal? Sub term. Okay, we just have to do this. Change terminal to xterm 256 color. Export term equals xterm 256 color. Shit. Okay, and also alias cool. We do have a better terminal now, and one is globally install pre sitter CLI shit bun. We installed all those things for the root user, I guess. Install bun npm add a user to sudo authentication field. That is crazy. Cool. User mod ag add to group sudo username ag add to group sudo username walrus. Okay, this is a sudo user now. Sudo apt install npm. Cool. npm is there. Bun. We have to install bun. Shit. Cannot create directory slash root. Find this grep one. Shit. Find slash one. Root. Enter the password and one help. Bun is there. So bun, where is bun? Bun is inside root. Why does this like want to have access to slash root? The directory is still there. Mm, alias is fine. Alias is fine. Alias 1 equals slash root dot 1 slash. Okay, I guess we don't have permission there. That is why we are not seeing anything. src this thing. Okay, why is there all of this in bash rc? Does the source code include the model after being trained? I guess Claude Code. The thing that they released or got released by mistake was Claude Code and not the LLM. So it is like the wrapper around the LLM, not the LLM itself. What would be the GPU requirement? Would we have to train it ourselves? We don't have the model LLM, but you can use, if you want, llama models with olama, or yeah, you could do that. Use llama models with olama as the wrapper around them. What is all this? Somehow there is some default bash configuration. Export one install equals this, and path one install equals home slash dot one. Home, we do not have one here. Globally install sitter visitor CLI. Like shit. Visitor nvim reset CLI npm install. Okay, we still are getting this error. Globally reset CLI. What is this error? Make the node modules error. Permission denied. Why is permission denied? Sudo is cool. Okay. Resetter cool. Nvim. Parsers are installed. Cool. And no error from nvim now. Pretty cool. Okay, shit. I guess we are good to go. But go, what can we do now? Bash rc this alias n equals nvim cool. Cool. Okay, that, I guess that would be it. We do have a working system. Sudo shutdown h. Cool. And our command is cmd.sh to start this thing from scratch. So let's rename this thing to from VM from ISO, right? And run vm.sh, have all this, do not give it cd-rom, and boot this, and then chmod plus execution on run this, and slash run vmsh. This should run the VM. Shit, okay. Why is this this? No, this is not installing anything. Okay, this is our own thing. Shut down. Okay, and let's create aliases for these commands. We can delete these. VM start would mean to just run slash documents programming slash VM run vm.sh and alias VM boot for like starting a new VM. VM from ISO. Cool. Source dot zsh rc, and if you do VM run VM start. Cool. Pretty cool. We can just run a new VM. Sudo shutdown now. Password. Cool. Wait, shit, my screen. Okay, shit. Okay, shit. That was very sad. Source code of LLM. Shit. Okay, let me show you what happened. Now I have created an alias here called VM start, which runs this script to start the VM. There are two scripts. One is run VM sh. This one just gives the image, the Debian image that we created and installed our VM on. And there is this one, VM from ISO. This runs the VM from the ISO, which we do not want to do every time. And now if I just do VM start, the VM starts up, and hopefully the screen is not stuck now. No. Password, and look at this, everything shake. Dot bash. Export term equals term this x term 256 color And anything else? Nope. Cool. Yep, everything is running, so pretty cool. And okay, let's go to 11 rated problem yesterday with very little help, so I'm proud. Shit, let's go. And today is also a contest, and today's contest is unrated, so you can give it. It is pretty cool. One problem was Santa Claus or something. The other was about lexicographically smallest string. Let's go. Lexicographical stuff. Cool. Now our VM is off. Pretty cool. And I guess that is a nice place to stop the stream at. And that would be it for today. Thank you for being here. Bye.